No. The joke will work. The joke will work. I can edit all this out in post. Do I want to? No. Hello out there in internet land. This is episode 8 of the 2025 season of the F1 Chat. I am your host, Phil Lamington. Seated to my... Wait, there's no one to my left. He's on my right. He's back, kids. Even though he's upset.
Shady's back?
Yeah, he's upset because Williams keeps catching on fire.
Oh, gosh,
but
yeah.
It's Longhorn, he's back, kids.
Hello. It's been a while.
How are you going?
I'm going well. Busy, flat out all the time at the moment with the second kid on the way. But other than that, I'm going well. Good to be here.
Yes, it's good to have you back. How's the family?
Family's good. Family's really good. Yeah, just chaotic. The chaos of getting ready for another baby is the hardest part. That's all. Other than that, the family's good. Just stressed and working hard. You know.
Right. Well, JB's at work.
Yes.
But we have a new member of the team. I don't know if you've heard about this guy. But so this new member of the team, he's going to be doing... Because in this episode, we're going to talk about Austria, the Austrian Grand Prix, and the Great Britain Grand Prix for 2025. So it's a double episode. So we're going to introduce the new member of the team. And he's going to do the F1 report for Austria first. And we like to call him Lord British. So here is Lord British. And he's going to do the Austrian F1 report that was typed out by Johnny. So JB typed it out. Lord British is reading it. So here we go.
Take it away.
Hello everyone, Lord British here, not to be confused with the Lord British that made the Ultima computer games, Richard Garriott. I have been asked to do the Austrian Grand Prix F1 report, and it is an amazing honor to do this. Please give me a real job, I need the money and I can't afford to live on the streets anymore. Debasing myself for the pickles off a McDonald's cheeseburger to live off. The 2025 MSC Cruises Austrian Grand Prix, Lap 1. Lando Norris starts on pole position alongside Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz can't get his Williams out of first gear, and the start is aborted as he gets the car going just as Oscar comes around to get into position.
Oh, what?
Bugger. Lord British.
You suck, Lord British.
Yeah.
You're not getting paid shit.
We've hit a roadblock with Lord British. It was going so well.
It was going so well. Now I've got to read the rest of it. Thanks, Lord British. Fuck you. Right, so Carlos's rear brakes catch fire as he pulls into pit lane to try and restart, and the team decides to retire the car. Lap 1, the cars complete the formation lap again. The race shortened by a lap. Lando covers the inside as Charles Leclerc gets into the slipstream. Oscar Piastri takes Leclerc for the second on the outside through turn 1. Kimi Antonelli locks up into turn 3 and cannons into the side of Max Verstappen. Both cars out on the spot in a massive championship moment, and the safety car is deployed. Lap 11, Oscar Piastri drives under Lando Norris for the race lead into turn 3, but Lando expertly takes it back into turn 4 as Piastri has a small lock-up on the outside. Lap 17, Alex Albon brings his Williams into the garage to retire from Grand Prix. A double DNF for the team and Alex's third DNF in a row. And we could hear Longhorn's cries of terror of him going, no, all the way here. Yuki Tsunoda bumps Lance Stroll in turn 3, the move noted by the FIA. Lap 20, Oscar Piastri gets it wrong into the downhill turn 4. A massive lock-up, seeing Oscar nearly hit the back of his teammate. Lando told to pit at the end of the lap anyway. Fresh hard tyres going on. Lap 24, Oscar Piastri pits for fresh hard tyres. A slow stop, seeing him fall behind Lando by a healthy margin as the front left refuses to play the game for the second pit stop in a row for McLaren. Lap 28, Charles Leclerc passes Liam Lawson for 4th as the Saubers swap positions, Hulkenberg climbing to 9th. Lap 29, Lewis Hamilton pulls off a brave move around the outside of Liam Lawson. Yeah, that is fucking brave. Through turn 5 and 6 to move up to 4th. Lap 30, Franco Colapinto and Yuki Tsunoda battle, and the two make contact coming out of turn 4. Yuki forced to pit as they take a look at the car. Lap 34, Yuki Tsunoda is handed a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision with Colapinto. Should win a 10-place penalty. Lap 51, Lewis Hamilton pits despite a protest on his behalf, sent out on fresh mediums. Lap 52, Lando Norris pits from the lead of the Grand Prix, a fresh set of mediums waiting for him. Lap 53, Oscar Piastri pits from the lead of the Grand Prix now, a fresh set of medium tyres going on. Oscar rejoins the rest behind Colapinto and Tsunoda. Colapinto trying to pass Tsunoda, squeezes Oscar onto the grass, but thankfully they escape unarmed, and Oscar passes both of them under blue flag conditions. And lap 70, Lando Norris wins the Austrian Grand Prix from McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. In 4th place was Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari. See, I'm doing double duty. 5th place is George Russell in the Mercedes. 6th place is Liam Lawson in the Racing Bull. 7th place was Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin. 8th place was Gabriel Bortoleto in the Kick Sauber. 9th place was Nico Hulkenberg on the other Kick Sauber. And 10th place was Esteban Ocon in the Haas.
How's that, eh? 2 Saubers getting points.
Lando Norris did all right.
Yeah. Both the McLaren boys did all right.
Yeah,
that battle they had was magnificent.
It's just sad that it's just watching two McLarens battle each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice when there's a Red Bull up there or a Ferrari up there or someone else up
or
there
a Williams.
battling. That would be really nice. But as we found out when I got here, because I said to you when I got here, I have to watch some highlights of the Austrian race because I've forgotten, most of it by now. And as soon as we started watching, I quickly remembered why. The Williams, my God, didn't even get out of the pit lane. On fire, just like our season at the moment.
It started off well.
It did. It looked really, really promising. We've just hit a big roadblock at the moment, so
yeah, wow.
It's a shame. But hey, we keep moving forward. Next year's the year anyway. This year was
that's
never
what
gonna
us
be...
Ferrari fans keep saying
every year.
Every year, we've been saying it for nearly 20 years. Next year's the year. We'll get it next year. But yeah, Norris drove a pretty good race. I mean, there was nothing really there to crow about. Like, he won it. It was other than fighting with Piastri, and even they calmed down after a while and were just like, yeah, all right, go forth.
Yeah.
But we get to the key drivers. So obviously Piastri. Piastri was a little bit wily coyote at times, but, a big deal was made of, Piastri was making moves on Lando. They're gonna take each other out, and it's just like, I think Piastri's a little bit more measured than Lando Norris.
Yeah, they both got something to lose if they crash here, so it's in their best interest not to crash. But it's a good thing that the team's trusting them to race, because it is kind of the only racing we're getting out the front. And so far, they've been pretty... outside of Norris's incident in Canada, which was just Piastri being the smarter racer, they've been pretty good with their battling so far. And yeah, this race was pretty much the sign of that. It was pretty healthy, it was pretty entertaining, and it was good and clean, and it never really got to they calmed down before it got to the point where you thought, they're going to have an accident here,
Yeah. My next key driver was Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drove a really smart race.
He's always up there and about at the moment, Charles, isn't he? I feel for him, because I feel like he's in the form at the moment to take a really good car to the top level.
Yeah,
but
they just got to fix that car. Like,
yeah.
There's just that missing piece on that car.
Yeah.
That car and the Mercedes have got the missing piece. Once they find that missing piece, it's
it's the consistency piece. That's what all McLaren's got on them at the moment, because certain tracks at the moment, the Mercedes are looking good, the Ferrari's looking good. But, yeah, it's that consistency where McLaren's just good everywhere at the moment. They've got that consistency piece, so, yeah, if Ferrari could figure out how they got that and get a piece of it for their own, it'd be good for us all to watch.
And they've still got more updates coming.
Yeah.
George Russell, another key driver. You know, he's there. He does his job. He gets the points.
He does.
Same could be said with Hamilton, who's next on the list. Like, Hamilton, he's struggling with the car. And unlike everyone else on the internet, I'm going to say it, he is past his prime. But he's still banking points. And he's trying to get the team to be a little bit smarter, which is the one benefit that Hamilton has. Is that he's trying to get them to stop making stupid strategy calls.
That seems to be his biggest struggle at the moment. As much as he isn't dominating the car, I feel like he's picking it up reasonably well. His biggest struggle is his team engineer, his strategy team. Like, his biggest battle is Ferrari's mentality not being world championship quality. And exactly like you said, he is past his prime in the racing sense, but he's still all up there in the head. He's still all up there in the preparation in what you need to do to be 7-time world champion. That's all still there. That's what you got him for, was to extract that out of him so you could hopefully implement that and give that to Charles Leclerc. That's why you got rid of Carlos Sainz, because Carlos Sainz is a top 6-7 driver on the grid, so there was no need to get rid of him unless you were getting, Lewis Hamilton to learn from. So they really do need to start pretty much listening to everything he says, because every race it feels like they're battling against two different mindset, like what Lewis wants to do and what the strategy team or the engineers want to do.
It's Ferrari versus logic.
Yeah, it literally feels like that. Yeah.
It's the only way I can dumb it down to its lowest common denominator.
They feel like the most unprepared team I've ever listened to on the radio. Like, whenever they talk to their drivers, whenever they're talking to Lewis, and you can tell it is like it's time to wake up from the tea break when he said that how many races ago. It's every time you hear them talk, it's like they don't realise the race is going on right now, Yeah,
they're very Italian, very relaxed.
Yeah.
We'll have some linguine and some pasta and lasagna. Fucking hell, But next key driver was Liam Lawson. He actually had a good showing.
Yeah, good on him.
It's about time. Like, we've been waiting for this.
They should just swap. They should give the second Red Bull driver one of the RBs and give one of the RB drivers the second Red Bull. Because I reckon they'd do better in the top team with Max in his car and the second driver in a RB.
Or put Max in the racing ball and move two of them up to the Red Bull.
Yeah, or even try that. They might even win a world championship in the RB with Max Verstappen, to be honest.
He'd probably drive it a lot better. He'd be like, this car's so much nicer than mine. What the fuck?
Good drive from Liam.
Same with Bortoletto, got his first points in F1.
Yep, that was awesome to see. He drove really, really, really well.
And the Hulkenberg, he is on a roll of getting points.
So, I mean, how old is he now? He's in his 40s, isn't he?
No, he's late 30s. I think he's 36.
Is he? Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
He's been on fire ever since he come back into Formula One from his... Did he retire or did he just have no seat?
He didn't have a seat.
Did have a seat.
But, he seems to be getting something out of this Sauber.
What a switch they've taken. Like, they were the bottom team for so long, not going anywhere, and all of a sudden, Mattia Bonanno's gone, we should focus a little bit on this year. And I mean, we haven't got to it yet, but this race result, double points finish, I didn't expect that in their handbook this year.
I mean, look at Spain where Hulkenberg beat Hamilton. Hamilton's in the factory Ferrari. The Sauber is a customer Ferrari. And he beat Hamilton. He held him off.
I also think they got a really, really good, promising team principal in Jonathan Wheatley. And I really think that he's going to get that whole organisation in the right... They're putting the right pieces together at the moment. And I think we're starting to see it. And Hulkenberg's definitely the driver to have in a team at their position at the moment where they're moving forward. And they're doing pretty well. Good on
And the last key driver was Ocon. Because he got a point.
them. Yeah, you got to give it to him. Got a point.
Yeah, give him at least one flower.
And he didn't take his teammate out. So
No, that's surprising.
No, it is.
But then we get to, you haven't seen this for a while, the PK kick.
Good old PK kick.
The PK kick. It's time for the helmet drivers. So the first is the professional window licker himself, Lance Stroll. Shocker.
Always up there, isn't he?
But I don't think he was the worst of the bunch. So the next one was Franco Colapinto.
Yeah, he's a regular at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's on here.
Lord Crasherus.
The Crasherus. He's on here because you've got, I think it was Lando Norris trying to come. No, it was Piastri.
It was Oscar Piastri, yeah. He didn't move out the way for him and pushed him off the track.
him off the track.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Have you got loud Stroll window mirrors? Like, come on.
Did you really think you'd be racing an orange papaya McLaren? You didn't see that in your mirror. Like,
well, I mean, he was racing with a Red Bull. I
Yeah.
don't think he was sort of like, well, all my dreams have come true.
well, if he thought he was going toe-to-toe with Max Verstappen, then I've got some news for him.
No.
Yeah.
It's a no.
It's a no.
Speaking of which, Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah.
He also contributed to let's not let Oscar Piastri through.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's driving the car like it's a Dodgem car.
Yeah, it's not matching his driving style one bit. And we've seen how good he could be in the RB, and I don't know if we'll talk about it later or not, but that second Red Bull car, God knows what, it just needs to be scrapped at this point, I think.
Wow. Yeah.
Even if it's somehow not the car and it's just a bad omen at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
I honestly would like to see them put Max in the second car.
yeah.
And let him do a few laps in it, and then see if there's something wrong there, or if it's just because it's designed to be around Max Verstappen, and it's just like, oh, everyone else should drive like Max Verstappen to make the car work. I don't know, just
I feel like it's that situation.
And the last helmet driver, Kimi Antonelli. That was ridiculous what he did.
Yeah, that was just reckless, really.
I think I said it out loud when I watched it, which was, you can take the driver out of F2, but you can't take the F2 out of the driver.
Yeah, I just felt like a really young, excited kid. You know what I mean? Like,
And
it was just a rookie mistake, you know?
especially seeing that they had the F2 race earlier that day where like one car ended up flipping over another car, and you're just sitting there going, these guys are supposed to be at F1 soon.
Yeah. The crop is not great at the moment. I don't ask me much about F2 this year, but already it does not feel like an exciting year whatsoever.
I don't think any of them deserve to go up.
Not this year, doesn't feel like
Send
it.
them to IndyCar. We'll take some of the IndyCar drivers and put them in F1 because at least they've got something.
Yeah.
But so who are you voting for?
For me, quickly let's go over them again off the top.
Antonelli, Stroll, Tsunoda, Colapinto.
Gonna give it to Colapinto.
You're going to give it Colapinto? I was going to give it to Antonelli for punting off Max Verstappen in turn 3.
True.
There was a real rookie mistake.
It was. Yeah, go on. That's deserved. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then we go through the driver standings after the Austrian Grand Prix, which is Hulkenberg in 10th place with 22 points. Esteban Ocon in 9th with 23 points. Alex Albon in 8th with 42 points. 7th is Kimi Antonelli with 63. 6th is Lewis Hamilton with 91. 5th is Charles Leclerc with 119. 4th is George Russell with 146. 3rd is Max Verstappen with 155. 2nd is Lando Norris with 201. First place is Oscar Piastri with 216 points. And in the constructors, after the Austrian, I nearly said the Alpine GP. After the Austrian GP, 10th place is Alpine with 11 points. 9th place is Kick Sauber with 26. 8th place is Aston Martin with 28. 7th place is Haas with 29. 6th place is Racing Bull with 36. 5th place is Williams with 55. They haven't moved for a while, have they?
No.
That number hasn't changed. 4th place is Red Bull with 162 points. 3rd place is Mercedes with 209. And reclaiming 2nd was Ferrari with 210. And McLaren is almost double that with 417 points in 1st place.
Dominating.
So then we get to the British Grand Prix. And my God, have I got some notes here. Because I had to do it this time. So, the 2000... I was going to get Lord British to do it, but he's clearly had decided to have a holiday. So, the 2025 Silverstone Grand Prix of Britain, from Silverstone. In Britain. At Silverstone. In Britain. Apparently, it's not far away from Northampton.
Yeah, right.
Which is where my dad was from. He was born in Northampton. So, lap 1, Charles Leclerc and George Russell start from the pit lane, having decided to go from slicks to inters. And going into, I think it was, one of the corners, Verstappen leads ahead of Piastri, Norris and Hamilton. Ocon collided with Lawson trying to avoid Yuki Tsunoda, putting Lawson out of the race. Lap 2, the virtual safety car is deployed and Franco Colapinto retires from the race. Lap 3, Antonelli pits for hards, nearly loses at turn 3 coming out. Lap 4, the VSC ends. Bortoletto crashes his car and retires from the race. And Hamilton is told rain in 10 minutes. Lap 6, VSC deployed again because of Bortoletto. Lap 7, Lance Stroll pits for softs despite rain expected, and the VSC ends. Lap 8, Oscar Piastri passes Verstappen for the lead. Lap 9, the rain starts. Here we go. Leclerc passes Antonelli, and Antonelli pits for inters. I think they passed each other like once each, and then Leclerc finally got the move done. Lap 11, the rain gets heavier. Stroll, Russell, Leclerc, Hadjar and Behrman pit for inters, and Norris passes Max Verstappen. Lap 12, Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, Hamilton, Gasly, Alonso, Sainz and Tsunoda pit. Norris losing the place back to Verstappen because the front left tyre doesn't go on properly yet again. And they asked Zach Brown on commentary about it. And he went, I don't remember that happening in Austria. I wasn't there. We do. Verstappen and Norris both overtake Albon. Lap 13, Albon pits. Gasly passes Hamilton for 7th. Hamilton says it's time for full wets. Leclerc goes off the track due to water getting into his helmet. That's strange.
He got lucky where he come off there too.
Yeah. Lap 14, the safety car are deployed. Lap 17, the safety car ends. Lap 18, Russell passes Hamilton, but Hamilton passes both Russell and Ocon for 7th. Leclerc passes Tsunoda for 14th. Hadjar hits the back of Kimi Antonelli, crashing out and bringing out the safety car. You know what? You can't blame Hadjar for that one.
Yeah.
Visibility was nil.
Couldn't see nothing.
Lap 19, Ocon pits for inters. Lap 21, Antonelli pits for inters. And Ted Kravitz notes that Antonelli is missing most of his rear diffuser. The safety car ends. Verstappen overtakes Piastri under safety car conditions because of Piastri suddenly braking. That was strange. Lap 23, Antonelli retires from the race and Max passes Albon for 10th. Lap 24, Russell passes Hamilton for 6th. Lap 25, Piastri gets a 10-second penalty for braking suddenly behind the safety car. Laps 27, Hamilton passes Russell for 6th. Tsunoda is given a 10-second penalty for colliding with Behrman. Everyone thought Behrman had just lost the plot and was cutting through the corner because he just lost it. No, he was given a helping hand by Tsunoda. Lap 30, Hamilton passes Gasly for 5th. Lap 35, DRS-enabled Hulkenberg passes Stroll for third. Hamilton passes Stroll for fourth. And Verstappen passes Sainz for ninth. Lap 36, Charles Leclerc passes Albon for 11th. Lap 38, Alonso pits for mediums, rejoins in 14th. Lap 39, Russell pits for hards, rejoins in 12th. Tsunoda passes Alonso for 14th, and Leclerc passes Sainz for 8th. Lap 41, Max Verstappen passes Gasly for 6th. Lap 42, the GOAT pits for softs, comes out in 4th with teammate Charles Leclerc in 5th. You can tell I wrote this because Lord British was supposed to be reading this. Stroll pits for softs, comes out behind Albon and Ocon in 8th. Gasly, Sainz and Behrman pitting for mediums, coming out in 10th, 11th and 12th respectively. And Charles Leclerc passes the greatest of all time for 4th. He's not really the greatest of all time, but, you know, he's supposed to be a joke.
You're coming round to it.
No. There's no space there for
Every time
Hamilton.
I look over, I think, Lewis Hamilton one would go nice right there.
He's not replacing Schumacher. Lap 43, Hulkenberg pits for medium, stays in third. Leclerc pits for softs, rejoins in 8th. Albon pits for mediums, joins in 9th. Ocon pits for mediums, rejoins in 11th. And Piastri pits to serve his penalty and puts on the mediums, rejoins in second place. Lap 44, Ocon and Behrman collide. It was like watching synchronised stupidity, rejoining in 13th and 14th respectively. Lap 45, Norris pits for medium but keeps the lead. Lap 46, Behrman passes Sainz for 11th, and Leclerc goes off the track, dropping down almost to the back end, rejoining in 14th. And lap 52, I think, Lando Norris wins the 2025 British Grand Prix ahead of McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri. And Nico Hulkenberg, who gets his first podium after 239 race starts, with Hulkenberg getting voted as driver of the day.
Well-deserved driver of the day, that one.
And in 4th place was Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari. 5th place was Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. 6th place was Pierre Gasly in the Alpine. 7th place was Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. 8th place was Alex Albon in the Williams.
Get in there.
Get in there, Lewis. 9th place was Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin. And 10th place was George Russell in the Mercedes. You know, that was a difficult race.
It was.
For everyone. So
It was chaotic.
Lando Norris really showed himself really good with this one. Like, he did a really good job on this race. Yeah, he certainly earned the win and the 25 points at the end of it.
Yeah. I still believe, though, that was Oscar's race that he essentially threw away. If he didn't get that time penalty or that even that safety car to begin with, no one was catching Oscar this race. I think he was already 11 seconds ahead of Lando at that point. So if all that hadn't happened, I think this was Oscar's race by a bloody long mile.
If I had one complaint about this race, I don't know. I understand the visibility was a severe issue, but for me, one thing that I didn't understand with them bringing the safety car out because of the visibility issue is that all the drivers were on the inters. No one used the wets. What's the point of having wets if you're not going to use them?
I heard the commentary team say point that there's no point of even using the wets or something, that the teams have figured out that they're not raceable or something like that. So whatever design they've gone with the wets is apparently undrivable. So it's intermediates or nothing, which means we're calling off rain earlier than usual because we don't have the grippier compound.
I just think it should be slap the wets on.
Yeah.
And if they can't drive with the wets on, then you take the safety car out.
Yeah. I agree, though. They should have to be on the wet tyres completely first.
Yeah.
You know?
Because if they're tooling around in intermediates, then it can't be that bloody wet. But maybe Pirelli need to look at their wet tyres and go, something's got to be done here. If they're not good enough for being used for what they're designed for, then we need to go back to the drawing board.
100%. We need to start another tyre war. That's what we need to start. Start a riot or something, you know?
Well, I mean, I just got... literally today, I just got new tyres for my car. I got Hancooks on it. I got off the Dunlops and put some Hancooks on it. And the guy at the tyre shop was like, "Oh, would you like some Pirellis?" And I went, "Hell no."
Absolutely not.
Hell no. He's like, "Why is that?" I said, "Well, I watched the F1. They're crap tyres in the F1. And he went, "Yeah, they're not great in the F1, are they?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not slapping Formula 1 tyres on my car, buddy. Give me the Hancooks."
Yeah.
That was $60 cheaper
Yeah.
each. So, fuck that.
It's the go sometimes.
I nearly got Bridgestone tyres, though, but they were $360 each. Whereas the Hancooks were $199 each.
Bargain.
Yeah. So, yeah.
While we're on the McLaren boys, what did you think of the penalty for Oscar?
Well deserved. That
Yeah.
was silly what he did.
Yeah.
That really was silly, particularly in those conditions.
That's where he got it wrong for sure.
yeah, that was absolute silliness.
Because what he was trying to achieve, it worked. Like, it actually put Max Verstappen off. Like, he was trying to get Max Verstappen onto colder tyres to start when he took off. And apparently he did it a couple races ago. I can't remember which race it was, but Oscar employed the same strategy behind safety car restart in that race, and it helped him get away from Max. So I can understand why he tried it. It's just, like you said, it was not the conditions to do it in. And I don't think Oscar realised... I know that sounds stupid, but I think sometimes when you're the lead car, you almost forget what it's like to be the cars behind, just to see that spray, because you've got clear view.
But also, I think it was just too much gamesmanship. It was just going too far with it. Like, to slow down that much, that fast. Like, I think they need to maintain a certain speed.
Yeah.
Once the safety car peels off, you've got to maintain, like, you can't drop below this speed.
Well, do you think that maybe they need to change the rules then? Because the rule is just that the lead car can set the pace, but you obviously can't still at the same time drive erratically.
Yeah.
So should they just change it, like you reckon, to like they do behind the virtual safety car? They have to drive to a what do they call it?
A Delta.
Delta, that's the one.
Well, I think behind the virtual safety car, everyone should have to drop down to the pit limiter speed.
Yeah.
Because I think that's fair. That's across the board. Everyone's driving the same speed.
Yep. So you can't ever get any discrepancies in your gaps from your deltas. You know what I mean?
And, like, every car has a countdown timer to get to that speed under VSC conditions. I think when the safety car ends, they have to maintain a certain speed above a certain limit. You know, so you can't slow down to pit limiter speed. You've got to go faster than that. So, you know. But it's kind of like saying, well, you know, they shouldn't be changing tyres under red flag conditions. It should be park firm, eh?
Yeah. There's a lot.
Unless it is a catastrophic fail of the bodywork. So if it's a rear wing or a front wing, yeah, change it. But not the tyres. Tyres, park firm, eh?
Yeah.
What you go in with, what you come out with.
Yep, I agree.
And this shit of, you know, we'll bring the safety car out when everyone's still running inters because of visibility. Well, no, if you're not using your wets, it's car plunge.
Yeah.
You know, you're the ones getting paid millions of dollars to do this. You know.
Yeah, make it happen.
Right, so we get to the key drivers. I'm not going to put the thing up again because I just haven't done it again. Key driver, Oscar Piastri, but he only just made it on the list. Like, he did a really good drive, but that thing under the safety car nearly got him into the other list.
Yeah, well, it was a bad penalty.
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a couple of wobbles, but he
breaks his streak of 12 consecutive podium finishes at Silverstone.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least if it's the time to get broken, this was the person to break it. Nico Hulkenberg getting a third.
Yeah. Next one, Max Verstappen. Yeah, he drove a sensible race in a car that he had that thing set up for a dry day, and it was not a dry day.
Worked in quali, but yeah, didn't help him out in the race.
It's one of those things that we haven't seen in an F1 race since probably the 90s or something, where someone's gone, he's got the car set up wrong. Oops. Because that happened all the time in like the 90s and the early 2000s.
Back before all the data they can collect these days.
Yeah. It was...
The good times where, like, someone could rock up and just get it right by chance.
Yeah.
Not we know before the race exactly every outcome that could happen.
Yeah.
Aerodynamically and all the... You know what I mean? Like, that's boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't we want discrepancy?
Back
And
when they did refueling.
oh,
at
stuff
pit
like
stops.
that. You actually created more jeopardy into the racing instead of, oh, will it rain or not? We literally these days we've got to hope for rain to get, which we got this race and made it exciting, but probably wouldn't have been as exciting without it, would it?
No. No, it would have been by the numbers all the way.
Yeah, DRS train
Yeah.
through the mid-pack, you know?
Next key driver was Pierre Gasly. I don't think I've seen someone overtake and get overtaken as many times as he did today.
He somehow always finds a way to put that Alpine in a fight somewhere, doesn't he? You've got to give it to him.
Yeah, he you know, he's out driving the car, that's for sure.
He's the Alex Albon of Williams before we got Carlos Sainz and started to get better.
Yeah.
You know?
He's just punching above his weight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of Albon, he's the next driver on my list. Yeah, nice recovery from three DNFs in a row.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good run for Williams.
He hasn't been in a great run, but
good to get points on the board.
Yeah, he's got some points on the board, which is what Williams needed. Get some a little bit more confidence where they can start, going in the right direction.
Yeah, can't get any worse. Can only go up from here, surely.
He did get beaten by Lance Stroll though.
That's what I mean. We're at rock bottom, so
yeah. No, Alpine's at rock bottom. Fernando Alonso, next key driver. Solid day at the races.
He wasn't happy that Lance Stroll got that strategy that worked out.
But then later on the race, they did the reverse and gave him the first bite of the apple. So, fair's fair and everything worked out.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, it was the risky strategy. Alonso was in a position they didn't want to take risks where Stroll was at the back, so you're always going to take a risk with his car.
Because other than his dad, everyone else sees Lance Stroll as disposable.
Yeah, exactly. So they're like, let's just test. Why not? It's 19th or 19th at this point. So
if he hits the wall and gets killed, oh well.
Yeah. And even then, he come out. He was ahead. Let's not forget, he was ahead of Nico Hülkenberg for a long time.
Yeah, he was running in third for a long time.
And he's managed to fall himself to seventh while Hülkenberg's kept himself up there in the podium.
Yeah.
If that was Alonso, there's no way Alonso was falling below third.
No.
You know?
No. He would have brake checked. That's why. Look at what happened in fucking Australia. George Russell. George Russell. He's on the list.
He was so up and down because he kept taking them bloody punts on slicks when it was too early. So you'd see him slide off the track and be like, oh yeah, that's his race done. Next minute he'd be in the points again. And I'm like, how did you do that? And then he'd pit again because the rain started to dry out. It went on 6-20 and he'd slide off again. I'm like, oh yeah, he's back at the back. Then he still somehow made it 10th.
The only person who did that worse was Charles Leclerc. Like, he'd be in 6th, and the next thing you know, he's off the track and he's in 14th. And you're like, oh, God.
Quite. At that one point where he was still on the Inters where everyone was making their pit stops, and he went from 14th to, 4th.
Yeah.
Like, shot up. And then next minute, he slid off and he's back to 15th.
Yeah, because he put slicks on, and then he just went, whee!
Yeah, whee! Like, he got in front, got the pit stop, and it would come out in a good spot. Like, wow, he's made a 10-place grid jump, and now he's on the right tyre. And then, whee! Just slides off. You're like, oh.
Like, when I saw him go off towards the end, and he slid down from, 6th to 14th, it was literally the sound effect of the characters sliding down ropes on Donkey Kong Country. Just, He was playing Snakes and Ladders, not F1. And my last key driver was Hülkenberg.
Yeah.
Broke the drought, got a podium. It was long overdue that he got a podium.
And him crying in the seat, that was a nice moment, Never thought I'd root for Hülkenberg as hard, but he's been such a good driver the last couple of years. Considering I never really was interested in seeing him come back to Formula 1 when he was out. He's been a great addition to Formula 1 since he's come back. And for him to finally get that podium, to break the drought, and to give a number at least, it's not going to keep climbing because he holds the record for the most starts without one. At least now it's at a firm number, you know what I mean? It's not going to keep climbing and get
Did you see who was in the Sauber pit area as a guest for Sauber at the race?
Kevin Magnussen.
Kevin Magnussen. His lucky charm.
Yeah.
I'd be bringing him to every race now.
Wouldn't you? Yeah.
So that's the key drivers. Then we get to the helmet drivers. Oh, here we go. Esteban Ocon.
We finally got it. He took his teammate out.
Yep, we finally got there.
They had a nice synchronized pirouette moment.
Oh,
I don't know if you've
yeah.
seen it on the camera work, but
Yeah.
that is a clip to
You put it to slow motion while it's sitting there going, do, 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 do.
and it was perfect.
And yet, Behrman still managed to beat him. That's what I don't get.
Behrman was another one that seemed to be like in the points, and then he'd drop back to the 13th from 14 because he'd have a slide, and then he'd be back in the points.
He's the one who would climb up the largest ladder and then fall down the smallest snake. Whereas Leclerc would work his way up with the small ladders and then land on the big snake right at the end and go, whee! Yeah. He's just like, oh no. Next one was Charles Leclerc. He had an absolute shocker. And it wasn't even his fault. Like, I feel bad for putting him on the list. Like, I mean, he went off because he had water in his visor.
Yeah, he was on the wrong tyre choice at the time.
And then he went off towards the end when he put the slicks on. Even the commentators are like, why is everyone putting slicks on? It's still too wet.
Didn't make sense, did it? And then Oscar Piastri had a slide, and you sit there going, what is everyone doing? We've got like 6 laps to go.
Dude, has everyone got a Ferrari employee in their factory now? Everyone.
Like, what happened there?
Every village has its idiot. Every one of them has an idiot in their team.
Like, we just watched George Russell go out too soon and just slide off the track. And we're like, definitely too soon. Oh, and all of a sudden, all the front runners start coming. You're like, what are you doing? Are you watching the same race I'm watching?
It doesn't look like Austria.
Oh, gosh, that was, yeah.
Next helmet driver was Isaac Hadjar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tough one, though, because of the conditions. It was tough to see, but
I've got to put someone on the list,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
And the next one was, and I think he might be the winner, Yuki Tsunoda.
It's not been a good run for my boy.
Carnage Express.
It has
lad.
not been a good run for my boy. He cannot get a handle of that cursed second Red Bull car.
Oh, I mean, he was the guy who caused the accident between Ocon and Lawson. And yet he drove away like, see ya.
I thought
see
that
ya.
was nice. That was like, I was like, yeah, good on him. Got Lawson
See
out.
you in
and-
Suzuki, boys.
Yeah. But then it was from then on, just kept putting himself in the middle of the corner when he shouldn't have been there and just tapping everyone. Like,
Yeah. Just
no overtaking racecraft whatsoever at the moment. in that
Asian
car.
driving style.
But you put him in the like, I turn now. Good luck, everybody. Like, it's like that.
Tokyo Drift.
Oh,
he
gosh.
just drove like a fucking Asian,
Oh, yeah.
as JB would say.
Drive like a fucking Asian. And we've been demonetized.
About that, I was actually reading, we have to get 500 subscribers to the channel.
Yeah, this is on YouTube, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In order to be monetized.
Yeah. Yeah,
And we've only got, on my one, we've only got 62. So we've got a little bit to go.
yeah, we're on the way.
We're chipping away at
We're on the way. We're on the up.
You
We're on the
know,
up.
we're Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
You know, we're just waiting to hit the big snake and just go, whee! Right. So, look, my vote's going to be for Tsunoda.
Yeah, he deserves it because he's not had a good run lately and he's been bloody hitting everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna walk away from this because I'll get racist. This will get racist real fast. So we get to the news. The first news item is the Austrian Grand Prix has been extended to 2041. This is the best decision that the FIA and Liberty Media and Formula One have made. Because it's a track, not a fucking street track.
It needs to stay. Yes, it does.
Yeah, and it's a fun track.
It's Red Bull's home track, which is nice.
Yeah, and
I like when teams have a home track.
and it's a great track. It's a fun track, and chaos always happens, particularly in F2. So yeah, happy with that.
Yeah.
Happy sticks all the way. Then we get to the fun stuff, Alpine. So, there's rumours that Alpine is about to dump Franco Colapinto
That would be wise.
for Paul Aaron.
Paul Aaron of all people. Watching the race, everyone kept saying it was Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, there was Valtteri Bottas, Paul Aaron. Jack Doohan might get another crack at it.
Well, he should be in it over Franco Colapinto at this point. How embarrassing, how dumb do they look, taking out Jack Doohan and putting in Franco Colapinto and then having Franco drive how he has?
Well, it could be worse. I mean, look at Red Bull. They took fucking Liam Lawson out, put Yuki Tsunoda in, and he's no fucking better.
Yeah, this is true. But they've been doing that for a long time. They took Perez out, put Lawson in, and that was a laugh for a while.
And now Sergio Perez is sitting there going, well, I think it proves that it's not me, it was the car.
Something went wrong as soon as Adrian Newey left, perhaps.
We'll get to Red Bull in a sec, but Alpine.
I thought, didn't they sign Colapinto to a 6-race contract and Mick Schumacher to a 6-race contract? Wasn't that the rumour?
The rumour was that Mick Schumacher was the guy who was going to replace Colapinto if he didn't do well by the end of this race. Except Mick Schumacher said, I'm not driving that shit box.
Really? He turned him down.
He turned him down.
Wow.
He's like, I'm going to stay in Le Mans.
Yeah, right. Good on him.
And drive for Alpine in endurance racing. Your car's bad when you sit there and go, I've been offered a chance to return to F1. Yeah, nah.
An aspiring F1 driver, gets an opportunity to get back on the grid and goes, I'll be right.
No, I'd rather drive for Apex GP.
Well, that's bad, eh? Who are they going to get at this point?
So, apparently it's either going to be Bottas or Paul Aaron.
Bottas would be a smart choice, but I hope it leads for
but it's Alpine.
I know.
They're not renowned for smart choices.
No, that's right. But I'm also hoping that somehow doesn't lead to the end of Bottas's career. I hope it's the way he gets back on the grid. Not with Alpine, but with somebody. I'd like to see him with Cadillac, I think. Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, well, that's the rumour too, is that Bottas is going to be driving for Cadillac.
I think that'd be a good pickup for them. Good, steady driver to lead a new team. And it'd be nice if he could get back in the Alpine at this point and finish the year off strong. Take a bit of form to get him that seat with Cadillac. So, I'm looking forward to seeing him back on the grid, Valtteri Bottas, if he makes it. So, whether it's the Alpine or the Cadillac, it'd be nice to see him back because he's a character that F1 is missing at the moment, I think, because we've had a few characters leave recently.
Well, the other Alpine news is that a guy who used to work in the team way back when Fernando Alonso won his 2 world titles, a guy named Steve Nielsen, he is signed up to be the new managing director of the Alpine F1 team. He starts in September. He answers to Johnny's favourite guy, Flavio Briatore. But this guy, he worked with Renault. Then he left. Like, he was there when it was still called Lotus.
Yep.
Like 10 years ago. Then he left and worked for the FIA and then for Liberty. And now he's leaving Formula One to join Alpine as the managing director of the Alpine F1 team. So good luck. See you in Suzuki. And have fun with that one, because I'm sure that'll be an absolute hoot.
Well, are they talking about selling Alpine at the moment?
Oh, who knows?
Who bloody knows? They're in shambles, that team.
It's just omni-shambles. I think they're waiting to see what the car is like next year.
Before, if they sell,
Yeah.
if they're shitbox next year, you reckon they'll sell?
They probably should.
Yeah.
All right, next news item. Red Bull. The Max Verstappen saga. He has got until the end of next month So he's got until the summer break to decide if he's going to do his exit clause and leave the team.
What's his exit clause?
It's a performance clause in the team. So if they fall below a certain point in the constructors, which I think was third, and if he is not in the top 3 or top 2 fighting for the title, he can leave the team because he's contracted with Red Bull until 2028.
Yep.
But if they don't reach certain parameters...
So he's got it written in that contract that if the team isn't performing, he can leave.
Yep. And he's been talking to Toto Wolff.
Who's been wanting him for a very long time. And this is why George Russell hasn't been signed up yet for next year. Yes.
Yes. And so the rumour is if Max goes, they're not going to promote from within to replace him. And they don't want George Russell. They are willing to spend money to buy Alex Albon out of his contract and get him back into Red Bull.
Yeah, right. Make up for the mistake of letting him go in the first place.
Which means you guys will probably end up with George Russell again.
Yeah, we would actually. That would be a nice George and Carlos Sainz. What a story that would be, them two in the team together. Two decent drivers they got dropped for no fault of their own. Yeah, you know. Winning at Williams. Well, that would be a complete story, that one. So sign me up. I'll take that. Alex deserves to go to a good team. I just don't know if Red Bull next year is going to be better than the Williams at this point, the way they're looking.
You ever seen this movie called Draft Day?
Yeah.
With Kevin Costner?
Oh, yeah.
And towards the end, he's sitting there saying...
Cavante Mack, no matter what.
And he's talking to the guy who's the general manager of the Seahawks. He's like, oh, I've seen all the chat rooms and the blogs. Everyone's calling for your head. Everyone on the internet is calling for Christian Horner and Pierre Wash's head because Pierre Wash took over as a technical director from
Adrian
Newey. So everyone's sitting there going, Pierre Wash needs to go. Maybe Christian Horner needs to go. There was a rumor going around that Christian Horner was going to leave Red Bull and replace Fred Vasseur at Ferrari. Because there's also a rumour that Fred Vasseur is going to get the boot from Ferrari and get replaced by the guy who's in charge of the Ferrari Le Mans project.
Team. Yeah, right.
But everyone in Ferrari's like, no, that's not happening. Fred Vasseur is sticking around.
As he should. He's done a good job with Ferrari, I think, so far. A lot of Ferrari problems are deeper than team principal problems.
Well, their chief designer guy, Loic Serra, he really didn't have a lot of input in this year's Ferrari. So he's got ideas on what to do. Plus, he also wants to work with Lewis Hamilton and get a car that works. So, because, I mean, Lewis Hamilton wasn't privy to the design of this car. So, having someone work directly with Lewis Hamilton, you're going to get something out of it. Good, bad, or indifferent. You know, so...
100%.
But Red Bull, what an omni-shambles. Like, we sit here and think Alpine is a complete mess. Red Bull is an absolute mess.
Considering where they've come from, they literally crumbled from within. They were the top dogs. They were the world champions, and they've just fallen apart.
They lost
piece by piece.
Jonathan Wheatley. They lost Adrian Newey. Next year, they're going to run their own designed engines with Ford bits, which is another thing that Max Verstappen apparently is concerned about. He doesn't think the Ford bits are going to be up to snuff. He just thinks the team's just going to barrel down. You got a second seat where no one can seem to get the damn car to work. So it's just Max Verstappen carrying the damn team. And a car that is temperamental. Like, it's quick. It's a fast car, but holy shit.
In the hands of Max Verstappen, it's quick.
In the hands of everyone else, it just throws a wobbly.
Wouldn't it be interesting, though, if, let's just say somehow Max was able to go to another car today and Yuki Tsunoda went into Max's car? Wouldn't it be interesting if he was just, like, straight up putting it on pole?
Yeah, well. Especially if Yuki Tsunoda is driving the first car is just smashing it out. And then they put someone else like Liam Lawson back in that second car, or Hadjar in that second car, and they can't do anything. And then you're sitting there going, well, there's your proof.
Yeah.
The car is fucked.
Unfortunately, I think what would happen, though, is they would get in that car and realise how designed that car is for Max Verstappen, find it even more undrivable than the second car, and they'd be absolutely buggered because they'd have no driver that could drive either of their cars because they're buggered. And now they've got to design a whole new car next year without the elite driver of Max Verstappen and all the ideas. They've got to design a completely different car to what they've basically been building since they gave the team to Max. Because ever since, that's why Ricciardo left back in the day, was when they decided Max was the number one driver, everything was going towards Max, and I think Ricciardo could see that, hence why he made the move.
And he was the last guy who could match Max in the car.
That's right.
You know, since then you've had Gasly, Albon, Tsunoda, Lawson, Perez. The next one on the chopping block is Hadjar.
And a lot of them drivers have all been very, very good. I mean, you're looking at buying one back in Alex Albon, for starters. There's one. Gasly's good in the Alpine. He's a good driver, should be on the grid. So, you know, Liam Lawson looks good again in the RB all of a sudden, or looks decent. Yuki Tsunoda's always been good in the RB the last few years. So, yeah, it's got to do with their car design, not drivers.
They should get Brendan Hartley back. There you go.
He'd probably do just as good a job as anyone else in that. You know.
But,
They're in trouble next year. They're in big trouble. Because do you think he goes? Do you think Max goes to Mercedes? I feel like he would, because the thing with Mercedes is it's win no matter what. So even though they've had some bad years, you know, in the behind scenes, what was most important is winning and putting everything towards winning. Even if they don't get it right, the Mercedes mentality is still to win world championships every year. But the way Red Bull's going with everyone they've lost, and you know, like you said, going to bits from Ford, like the way the team's heading, that's not a team that can compete with the Mercedes.
I think Max is going to stay. I don't think he's going to go to Mercedes. And I think he's going to stay at Red Bull out of brand loyalty.
They did give him everything, yep.
And I think he knows that if he goes to Mercedes, it's not going to be, we built the car around you and the team is around you. If he goes to Mercedes, he's got to be a team player. And he's not going to get preferential treatment.
I don't know. I think he would. I think if he went there right now, he absolutely would.
And
I think it'd be Lewis Hamilton all over again. When Lewis Hamilton was there with Valtteri Bottas, I think Toto Wolff would forget about his pet Kimi Antonelli very quickly.
I think that's the other thing too. I think Mercedes needs to realise they've got something with Kimi Antonelli.
They do. That kid can drive.
And if they keep George Russell, they've got someone who can mentor him into being the future of their team.
That's
he could
right.
be what Max Verstappen was to Red Bull.
Yep.
You know, or what Charles Leclerc is to Ferrari.
Exactly. Or Oscar Piastri is to McLaren.
And Lando Norris.
Yeah.
You know. So I just don't see him jumping ship to Mercedes. I think though he's using this to get more money out of Red Bull.
Why wouldn't you? He deserves every penny of it.
But you know, it's a tricky situation though, because I kind of also feel like if he goes from Red Bull, if it was today's cars tomorrow, and he left today to go to Mercedes, he'd be going from a 3 to 4. He'd be taking a step backwards because that Mercedes is only there in the constructors because the second driver at Red Bull is misfiring. Overall, the Mercedes is not that great a car compared to the Red Bull.
Shouldn't be, no.
So it'll feel like a step backwards. Kind of like Lewis Hamilton must be feeling like going from Mercedes to the Ferrari, where it's a different beast with a different power unit, and he's just changing tact and having to relearn how to drive in a car that's very fundamentally different, as well as a different culture and a different, everything is foreign to Lewis.
Yeah.
And you got a power unit that tops out a little bit sooner than the Mercedes power unit, but is built a little bit better because the Mercedes seems to be blowing up a little bit lately. I just feel like it's just a backward step. But then
But
we've got the new regs next year, so it's all up for grabs.
That's what I mean. I think in my eyes, he's banking on next year, and he's banking on that he would believe that Mercedes has put all the eggs in the right basket next year. And with everything that's been happening with Red Bull since Adrian Newey left, Max is probably thinking, I don't know if all the eggs are in the right basket at Red Bull at the moment. We're still driving off the coattails of Adrian Newey designed generation car,
Yeah, because
when we go into the next gen, he doesn't sound confident that they're the right team to take him, to the next World Championship again.
it's funny too because they reckon next year's Mercedes power unit is the most impressive one out of all of them.
I hope so.
Followed closely by the Ferrari. The one that everyone's just sitting there going, no, it's a no good. Is the Red Bull. I mean, the Audi is rated higher than the fucking Red Bull.
Gosh, that's not a good sign.
And then you've got Honda going to Aston Martin, but they've got to design a new power unit because they sold the IP of the power unit to Red Bull so that they could do it. And then Honda's been building parts for them for the last, last 3 years. So you've got... So what engine manufacturers we got? With Mercedes?
Ferrari.
Because Mercedes is going to run Mercedes, McLaren, Williams, and Alpine next year.
Yes.
Red Bull is going to be running Red Bull Ford.
Yep. So is RB.
So, yeah. Ferrari has got Ferrari, Haas, and Cadillac.
Yep.
Because Cadillac they won't have their engine up and running until 28. Audi is going to be just supplying for Audi, which I think they need more teams so that they can get more data and help develop their engine. But
yeah, it'd be good if they could pick up a Cadillac or something like that. Maybe for the year after.
Maybe they should open up and let a 12th team in. Just saying.
Gotta hope so.
Or, it'd be really great if Alpine sold their team to Porsche.
Yes.
That would just...
They need to sell the non-serious racing teams to serious racing teams. That's what needs to happen.
Right.
Should be a mandate that if you own a Formula One team, that the whole point of owning the Formula One team is to try and win things, not just to sit there and get a cash grab. If you're going to do that, sell it on because we want entertainment. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, if you're not there to win it, you shouldn't be there.
Exactly.
And then you've got Aston Martin running Honda. So that's what, 6 different power units.
Yeah, it's the most we've had in a long time. There's going to be a bit of jeopardy going on.
Yeah, well, like I think it was what year was it? God, it was like 2000. You had Ferrari. You had Renault. You had Asia Tech, which was rebadged Renault engines. BMW. Mercedes, Toyota, Honda. God, that's 7 right there.
Just about every team
Ford,
running their own.
Cozza.
Yep.
So that's 8. Okay. I mean, in the mid 90s, I think it was like 96. Yeah, Ferrari running Ferrari, Mercedes running McLaren running Mercedes. Williams and Benetton were both running Renault. Sauber was running Ferrari. Jordan was running Mugen Honda. Arrows was running Yamaha. God, what else was there? There was Cozza's. Hey, there was 12 teams on the grid, and I think there was 10 different engine manufacturers. Like Prost was running Peugeot.
I'm looking forward to it, to having more engines on the grid.
Yeah, I mean, bring back Peugeot. I mean, they blew up all the time, but who gives a shit?
I feel like every race, like at random, we draw out of a hat, and one team has to run a Peugeot engine. They can blow up at any minute, like an old one out the back of the workshop somewhere. And it's like in this race, Max Verstappen's got the Peugeot, and you're like, how good's that? He's going to blow out.
He's
the
got
race
the
at some
Cozza.
point. Yeah, he's got the Cozza. Let's see what he can do in the Cozza. He'd probably still win it.
He's like, fuck, god damn it. Gets the Lamborghini engine. Did you know in like the early 90s there was a team called Cologne, and they were running Subaru engines. You're like, Subaru should not be run. And
I was going to say, did they get it the wrong formula wrong? Did they think they were?
And it was a
rally?
V10. It was a V10. Apparently, it was heavy and slow. And after 3 races of it blowing up, they just went fuck that and got V8 fucking Cozers. You know. But I mean, you had Yamaha back then. You had Lamborghini, Peugeot, Mercedes, Honda.
Back when you could have 10 engines sitting there on the side, ready to go. Just throw one in for practice, throw one in for, quali, throw one in for the race.
But I mean, back then, like, it was a simpler time. You didn't have... It didn't take them half an hour to boot up the computer so that they could start the engine. Like, it was just ram the thing in, brrr, off it goes. You didn't have to sit there... Going through a car setup was sitting down and saying, I need a little bit more of this and a little bit more of that. And they
Take
sit
it
there
out
with
for
an
a lap.
Allen key and...
Yeah.
It wasn't computerized.
Yeah.
There was no computers. I think that's half the problem with F1. They need to get rid of half the computer.
100%. And then you send the driver out and he comes back with feedback and says, I need more downforce here, I need more this. And then you get the setup right. And then drivers become more valuable because all of a sudden you can just be a smart driver and you can work your way up the grid. You don't necessarily have to be just the quickest in, every scenario. We could go on and on for how much more exciting you can create the racing just by literally stripping back some of what they think we want to see. Oh, we want to see speed. No, I want to see guys race each other, whether it's 365 Ks or 350 Ks. It all looks the fucking same at that point. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see them battle, though. Like, not just have to catch each other in DRS and take each other on the straight. Like, I could watch NASCAR if I want to watch cars just drive really fast.
If you watch in, like, the 90s or the 2000s, they had overtakes without DRS. It was called slipstream, and it was called bait them into making a mistake, or just good fucking driving.
It was racecraft, yeah.
But I mean, they also had things like refueling. Yeah, everyone complains about the size of the current cars. If you brought back refueling, you could halve the size of the petrol tank in there, which means the cars would be smaller, cars would be lighter, and fuel strategy becomes an actual thing, not just the tyres. Because you don't go through tyres as much if your car is lighter because you're running a lighter fuel load. It's almost like strategy has become a completely lost art.
Well, it has. That's why the Ferrari team's asleep all the time, because...
Well, it's funny you should mention
they've got
that.
so many plans on hand, they can't remember which one to pick. The plans go beyond the alphabet. They go from A to Z. They start getting to the numerical numbers. Ferrari strategy. That's how many strategies the computers come up with for them. They just can't bloody select one in due time, in due course.
Because I saw a photo. Here it is. Saw a photo, and it was they read it was the coldest radio ever in F1 history, and I think, judging by the look of the car, it might have been from 2000. And it was Ross Brawn on the radio to Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari. He said, Michael, you have 19 laps to pull out 25 seconds. And basically, Martin Brundle got on commentary and said, Michael has been told to set 19 qualifying laps. And he did it.
Yeah.
19 qualifying laps.
In a row.
And he did it. Like, that's insane shit. You wouldn't see that now, though.
Max Verstappen could do it. But he's the clear different talent driver at the moment compared to the rest.
Yeah. But, if you don't have the fuel strategy, then stuff like that doesn't happen. They would have low fueled his car and given him like one extra lap of fuel and just said, go.
Yeah, and how cool is that to know that, like you said, it's up to the driver. It's in his hands now. They've created a scenario where you could put it in the driver's hands and go, you've got a chance at coming up with this gap, but you've got to pull it out your ass. And then the driver goes and does it.
Yeah.
Now we'd go, oh, we can't, you won't. Let's just pit for fastest lap. You can't, you know what I mean? We've worked it out too much, too ahead, and knowing what our team is doing too much and knowing everything that we just straight away go, that's not even achievable anymore because we would have worked out you can't do that beforehand. There would have been no, off you go see if you could do it. It would have been like, oh, we're not going to catch that. We're not going to make it. Let's preserve the car and the tyres or whatever. Formula One seems more about preserving and showing off the technology than it does actually about racing. And
yeah, it's not actually letting them do the thing. Yeah. And they're supposed to be racing drivers. And they're not really driving. They're just going, oh, well, we'll putt around.
Yeah, we don't get to see nearly as much racecraft as we used to. You used to see it every race. Now, we admire it when we see it because we really don't. And we see the difference between the guys who have it and the guys that don't. You know what I mean? Like, there's a big difference in the gap.
Yeah, well, I mean, you watch the old races. You get that sound, the look of the cars. Like, I'm not saying that the current cars look shit. They look quite nice. But the old cars, you could get overtaking at Monaco.
We need to get back to that.
That's what we need to get back to. Get rid of all the computery crap. Bring back refueling at pit stops. Tyre war.
Manual gearbox.
Well, it's kind of manual. It's flappy paddle.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, I just want to see that. The old Ayrton Senna Monaco lap vision again. You know what I mean?
A lap of the gods at Donington.
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. But the racecraft of racing seems to have been dumbed down a little bit. But then you see the opposite of it, where it's everyone tries too hard in F2, and you end up what happened at Austria a couple of weeks ago, where they're just flippity-dippity.
True.
There's no balance, there's no racecraft in there. It's it's almost watered down racing.
Yeah. So I'm hoping next year we're on the right track to bringing it back. We're getting there slowly but surely. The car's getting smaller. We're going better directions. Hopefully, if we get this complete biofuel, they might turn around and not be worried about it having to be electric and happy to burn off biofuel.
Oh, they're running the biofuel now.
Yeah, but hopefully, they start looking at it and go, well, if we're running biofuel, why can't we just run entire biofuel? Why does some of it need to be electric? If it's burning off fine, or let's just use that fuel and make the car smaller and better.
It was like the old KERS system they used to have, where you charge up the battery and you could use the battery for a bit of boost for an overtake or whatever. I didn't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind that too. Yeah,
it means that you've got to build it up, you've got to set it up, and you've got to build up the boost so that you can do it. I think IndyCar's got a similar thing where they've got push to pass.
Yeah.
But you've got to earn it. It's.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Or like you said, you get a certain amount for the race, and you can use it freely as much as you want during that race. But you've only got a certain amount, so it's up to you how you employ it. Yeah. But you've got a certain amount of time you can get to use that throughout the race.
Because that's my problem with next year's regulations is they've put the DRS is everywhere. And you have to use it because it's the only way you can charge up the batteries to power your car. And
then we get this effect where they're all stuck behind each other and they can't make any distance or grab because
it's a permanent DRS train.
We're relying. Each car's relying on the exact same process. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. To get battery power and having to use DRS, and no one catches anyone.
The thing that saddens me the most is that we at the end of 2021. We finished with the previous generation of F1 cars, and we went to ground effect for 2022. And we've slowly watered down the ground effect because of the porpoising and things like that, to the point where we're kind of back to cars can't follow each other at the end of the last generation.
Yep.
Now, we're changing it all again. But the smart move is getting rid of the MGUH. That was smart. Get rid of that. But we've added more battery packs in there. And it's going to be a 50-50 internal combustion engine and hybrid battery pack power. Just make a better engine.
Yeah.
Just make a better engine and use the battery packs for turbo boost like we did when KERS was originally introduced back in 2010.
100%.
Yeah, but we've just watered it down, and now we've got cars where we have to have DRS everywhere. Now we're putting drivers in danger.
Absolutely.
Because now we've put DRS in everyone's hands, and if someone veers rapidly under DRS, they could flip a car. And that's when it becomes dangerous. And I think we've just... The new regs, some of it are right, some of it's just going in the complete wrong direction. And I just think they need to simplify everything, rip all the computery stuff out, get it back to guys with an Allen key, adjusting a front wing.
100%.
Yeah, and simplify the damn thing.
100%.
Right, so we're going to move on now to the driver standings after the British F1. In 10th place is Esteban Ocon with 23 points. Moving up to 9th is Nico Hulkenberg with 37 points. 8th place is Alex Albon with 46 points. 7th place is Kimi Antonelli with 63 points. 6th place is Lewis Hamilton with 103 points. He's finally reached triple digits. 5th place is Charles Leclerc with 119 points. 4th place is George Russell with 147 points. 3rd place is Max Verstappen with 165 points. 2nd place is Lando Norris with 226 points. And only 8 points ahead is Oscar Piastri with 234 points. Then we get the team standings. In 10th place is Alpine with 19 points. Dropping down to 9th is Haas with 29 points. In 8th is Aston Martin with 36 points. They are tied with 7th place Racing Bulls, who are also on 36 points. It's screaming into 6th place Keck Sauber with 41 points. I would not have picked that.
Never. We never would have seen him getting 41 points across the entire season, let alone by now.
And then in 5th place, you've got Williams, who've now got 59 points. They got some 4 points there. In 4th place is Red Bull Racing with 172 points. 3rd place is Mercedes with 210 points. 2nd place is Ferrari with 222 points. And doubling their score and a bit more, in 1st place is McLaren with 460 points. Wow.
Running away with it this year.
From 5th down to maybe 8th, that's looking like a very spicy meatball.
Mid-pack battle, yeah.
It's 5th down to 10th. You could even include Haas and Alpine in that.
On their day, definitely. Gasly in the Alpine, anyway.
Yeah.
He's been in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 5th through the 10th is kind of its own battle this year. And actually a battle.
Yeah. Realistically, though, I think the 3 teams that are fighting for 5th are Williams, Sauber, and Racing Bulls.
Surprisingly, yes, to say that, Sauber are
Because
there.
Aston Martin really is just getting 1 or 2 points. They
got a large Stroll issue, which we've...
Yeah, they're always going for a stroll.
Yeah.
But, it's just, Williams have got to sort what's going on with them out, because Keck Sauber clearly have sorted out whatever the fuck's going on there.
Yeah, they'll catch us quick at this rate. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, especially seeing last year, Sauber got the wooden spoon.
By a long mile.
And
I'm pretty sure I picked them for the wooden spoon this year.
I think so too.
Don't think they're going to be now.
Yeah.
It'll make my predictions look very foolish.
It's just going to be a shame if the Audi power unit doesn't work well. They're just going to slide straight back down. All this year's goodwill is just going to go... But, and like the Red Bull's not going to be winning the Constructors this year.
No.
McLaren's got it in the bag, but it's a 2-horse race for 2nd place between Ferrari and Mercedes.
Yep, absolutely.
And as much as I want to say it, I think Mercedes will catch Ferrari unless Ferrari does some upgrades.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say I would trend more towards Ferrari at the moment. Antonelli's having a couple struggles lately, and Hamilton seems to have found his feet a little bit with the Ferrari. So I feel like at the moment, I'd pick the Ferrari, but it's definitely a flip of a coin by the end of the year.
And apparently Red Bull has abandoned this year's car and has started work on next year's car already.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Can they make sure they work on the second car at the same time? Can they remember that part?
What they do is they get their main car for Max, and they just buy the other one off Temu. Sponsored by Temu. Right. So then we get to the social medias. We've got the YouTube channel with the F1 Chat, Cara Vindicator 18 channel. We also have YouTube, the dedicated F1 Chat 1 channel. We've got Facebook, the F1 Chat, where you can interact with us. X, the F1 Chat. Rumble, the F1 Chat. And Spotify, the F1 Chat.
That is us.
That is us. And I'll be back in 2 weeks for Spa. It's hard to believe Spa will be before Hungary, but that's the rub. That's the way these things happen. But well, it's been nice having you back.
It's been good to be back behind the microphone. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I've missed it. So, no, it's good to be back. Give Johnny a breather.
Yeah, well, we'll try and get the 3 of yous in the same room at the same time. Then we know we're going to be cooking with gasoline. You
Finally got the gas up.
You know. So there was this. I used to have these DVDs called "The Best of Backyard Wrestling," and some of it's just loony.
Yeah.
But they got a segment about people using fire in matches, and they got like a voiceover at the start, and he goes, "Mother always said never to play with matches, but she did say anything about 2x4s and gasoline." Yeah, so like the third DVD, they had a match called the Four Corners of Pain match. Like one corner, and it was in someone's courtyard, and they put rope up between. That was the only ropes they had to bounce off, was between a wall and a fence. And one corner had cactus plants. Another one had barbed wire with a couple of bits of razor wire mixed in with it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Another one had rat traps that were set. And the final corner was thumbtacks. And one of the guys in the match started off with a kitchen knife in his hand. Kicks old mate in the gut and then just grabs it and runs it across his forehead. Cut him open straight away.
What?
Yeah. And like
Mental
the
stuff.
guy who started off with the kitchen knife, he ends up with his shirt off and power bombed onto the cactus. Then old mate who got his head cut open, he gets put face, like the side of his face, on the thumbtacks, and his mate stomps on his head, so his ear is pinned to his head with thumbtacks. The other guy then gets power bombed onto the barbed wire, and he gets up, and the barbed wire is still stuck in him, so he's dragging it with him.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Brutal stuff.
yeah, kids and
Yeah, kids and their ideas.
kids in the backyard. That's what kids in the 90s did. You know, nowadays they just sit there and go, "I'm making TikTok videos."
Yeah.
You know?
Times, eh?
Yeah, but that was certainly a watch, that DVD.
I bet.
Yeah, and that was when I was doing my apprenticeship, and I had to stay in Brisbane for 5 weeks. So it certainly kept me company for 5 weeks watching this shit. I only had 3 of them back then. It was about 5 years ago. It was like there was up to 9 versions of it.
Yeah, well.
Oh yeah, eBay. Thank you. After the 5th one, it went to shit, but still. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for jumping in. Hope you had a blast.
Thanks for having me. It was good.
Thanks everyone for listening at home. Hope you enjoyed the episode, or in your car, or wherever you are. It's a bit of a long one, but you know, you like it. You like it if it goes for a long time. Don't you, honey? Don't you? Buy the shirt. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. Until next time, it is goodbye.